Real vehicles, the latest tech, and the pros who make it happen. If it runs, rolls, or rips, we've got it here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. Let's get to work. Motorheads, if you ride a motorcycle, you know how important safety is, and you've got all the gear. You've got goggles, you've got a helmet, you've got pads, you've got the boots. But Mark, what is something people overlook all the time?
Literally, people overlook seeing where they're going, especially if it's raining. One of the worst things you can do on a motorcycle, and every biker knows this, David, it is incredibly scary riding a motorcycle with full-on rain, and you can virtually only see a few feet in front of you.
Up until now, what can people do when they get caught in the rain on a motorcycle?
Up until now, they can wipe it. Or they can turn their head to the side and look out at 45 degrees of their eyeballs. Then you can't see over there very well.
That's why you invented biker guards.
And biker guard is a visor wiper to go on your helmet.
And that just makes sense because you have windshield wipers on your car, you have it on your truck, you have it on a tractor, a boat.
Even an aeroplane.
Yeah, and until now there hasn't really been a great solution. So how does biker guard work?
Biker guard is absolutely brilliant. All that happens with biker guard, once it's been fitted onto your visor and turned on as this is, we have a little remote that goes on the side of your left hand by your...
Yeah, need some rain?
Let's have some artificial rain there.
So you got the remote there.
Got the remote, give that a bit of a squirt.
Okay.
And give it a bit of a click from your left hand, keeping your hands on your handlebars and your eyeballs down the road, seeing where you're going all of the time.
That's fantastic. And you can change the speed?
This has got 3 different modes. We've got the standard press and click, or you can do it manually from the top there if you want to, but this is the remote. Or we can double click it, and then we've got 3 different settings. We've got 10 seconds, 4 seconds, or 1 second. Personally, when I'm riding, I'm a bit lazy. I like to put it on auto so I can just ignore it and carry on with my ride.
I know at home there's 3 questions you're thinking of. 1, does it work? Well, you can see that it works. Number 2, is it durable?
Incredibly durable. Let me explain, or show you in the very least. This is attached to this visor. What I'm going to do is grab it. How durable is that?
Very cool. And then what about the motor? Can I strip the gears or anything on the motor?
No, in fact, it's a brushless motor. So if I just pop that back down there, watch this. You cannot break this.
Very cool.
It's not breakable at all.
Excellent.
I'm not going to do that all day, but there you go.
And I know the third question people are going to ask is, what's it like to install it?
Do you know what? It's really easy to install, David. It's just 2 screws. 2 screws that go in from the back, and the biker guard unit fits onto the bracket. Shall I take it off and show you how it pops on and pops off?
Sure, let's see. I know it's a simple process.
Really, really easy. Personally, I always lift the blade up. You can leave it down. There's a little button at the side there. You press it in, and you just slide it off.
That's it.
And that's it.
And I love, you have the ultimate kit here, which is everything you need to install, and it includes 2 of those brackets in case you have more than 1 helmet. It's a great idea.
How many bikers only have 1 helmet? I know I've got probably about 101 helmets. Nevertheless, I'd like to be able to swap it from my winter helmet to my summer helmet, because where I'm from in the UK, it kind of rains a lot all through the year. So you can just take it off one helmet and pop it onto another helmet. Of course, your remote control stays on your handlebars all the time. No need to change that, but if you wanted to take it off, it's just a piece of Velcro, it comes off and you can take that off as well.
You made everything easy.
It's an absolute, as we say in England, a piece of cake.
All right, well, I'm going to scoot across the studio here to visit our buddy Rob, but take a look at what's going on outside right now. This is Anthony, one of our crew. He's taking one for the team. Tested out the biker guard firsthand. Check that out. This thing really works, and there's his view. Amazing. Now, Rob Ryerchuk, you are the representative for Biker Guard in North America, and you guys are making a leap into this market. How did you and Biker Guard find each other in the first place?
Well, it's interesting. I'm a new motorcyclist, started riding in my early 50s, and I'm already planning a big 9-day trip going through 4 states, and I know I'm going to be riding in the rain, and I've never ridden in the rain. So I started looking at ways to be safe out there, and I discovered Biker Guard after watching one of Mark's videos. So I reached out to Biker Guard. They sent me a unit, installed it. I made a video for Biker Guard so they could see, and I really enjoyed it. I found myself feeling comfortable riding in the rain.
And you're a police officer.
I am.
So you help some of the guys on the squad.
Yeah, so we have some of our motor officers, they have them, and I'm also trying to reach out to our National Police Force as well.
What are the motor officers saying about it?
They like it. They haven't had a chance a lot because they don't ride in the winter too much, but they're excited because we have FIFA coming up and they're going to be riding a lot in the rain.
Now, why should everybody have Biker Guard on their helmet?
Well, it's about mitigating risk. We're trying to prevent the crash from happening. It's already hard for us to see when we're riding. We're invisible to other drivers. We have this now, so not just are we invisible, but we don't want cars to be invisible to us in the rain.
It is just as simple as that. If you can't see, you can't ride. You need Biker Guard if you have a motorcycle, and they make it easier than ever to get one. There is a special code for you, the Motorhead Garage viewer. It is bikerguard.com/Motorhead. You get 25% off and you get free shipping. Get one now. Hey, if you miss us during the week, just keep up with Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection on social media. Coming up in a few, John Gardner is here. He's talking drum brakes. We'll also show you how to clean and protect your car's shine without using water. That's next. All right, I've always wanted to do this. Now I finally have a reason. Get out of here. All right, we'll be right back. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, brought to you by Clamp Tight. Clamp anything, any size, any shape, anywhere. POR 15, the ultimate in rust and corrosion protection and prevention. And by Formula Trailers, built for leaders, built for you. Motorheads, we've seen our friends from NEXGEN. They've got a great line of products that'll clean your car and protect it for a long time. But Michael, what if you don't have the time, the place, or the motivation to keep your car clean?
Those are three really important points, and I'm actually going to reverse them because motivation is usually the first thing that keeps you from getting your car cleaned, because most people don't want to wash their car.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged, right? So we created first a waterless wash, but now we've infused that waterless wash with our proprietary ceramic polymer. So not only are you able to clean your car without having to pull out a bucket, drag a hose out, go through the entire rigmarole that you would have to do to wash a car traditionally, you can simply spray this on, wipe it off, and your car is going to get clean. But because we've got the ceramic in there, not only are you cleaning the car, but you're actually protecting it at the same time that you're walking around and washing it off. So while we're talking, I'm just going to start spraying.
I'll do the same over here.
With the waterless wash, unlike our ceramic spray, you want to get a little bit liberal with it. The reason is the waterless wash has surfactants in it, and those surfactants are going to begin working immediately, pulling the dirt up into the molecules of liquid that are on the hood now. Now, what makes ours different is we have a reactive ceramic that's in the formula as well. So while the surfactants are pulling the dirt into the molecule of liquid, the ceramic can't penetrate it. So once you wipe the molecule away, you're safely wiping the dirt away, but on the outside of that molecule, that's where the ceramic lives. So while you're wiping the dirt away, you're applying the ceramic at the same time. So it's literally just as simple as what we've just done. We've sprayed it on. Now we're going to start working it in.
That's amazing already.
And you're going to see immediate results from doing this. So when we looked at this car this morning, we were trying to decide, do we want to use this to demonstrate our ceramic soap, or do we want to use it to do the waterless wash? Because it was right at the very edge of just being maybe too dirty to use for a waterless wash, because some cars you just have to wash with traditional soap. But even as dirty as this car was, you're going to begin to see immediate results after you go through here. And this is just with one pass, right? We've both just made one pass here. If you take a break and you look at the difference between the side you've done, the center section, which has been untouched, and the side I've done, I think the results kind of speak for themselves.
It's amazing, and it makes it super simple. For folks maybe that are going to a car show or something like that, the car gets dirty when you're driving it in, this is the perfect thing.
Absolutely. You want to use the waterless wash to knock that dust down when you get to your final destination so that the car looks as great as it can be. And it's literally as simple as spray on and wipe off.
Is this something I can use too much of? Does it build up, and like wax can do that?
Well, wax can build up, and what's great about this is there's no wax in it. So this is a product that is stackable, so the more you use it, the better off it is. It's the same polymer that we have in all of our ceramic products, which means it works with every other product that we have, whether you're using the ceramic spray, the ceramic soap, the ceramic detailer, or the ceramic waterless wash. Every time you use one, all you're doing is building up layers of ceramic, which adds more protection, more shine, and more hydrophobicity to your vehicle.
For folks who may not know, what does hydrophobicity mean?
So hydrophobicity, or hydrophobic, is one type of water rejection. It's typically the one that people like to see in the ads because you see all the tiny water molecules all over the hood, they bubble up, and everybody thinks that looks really cool and sexy. Now, the flip side of that is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic is just seeing things sheet off the car. Both of them are effective, and both of them do the same thing. One just kind of looks better on camera than the other. So our proprietary polymer has both qualities in it. It is both hydrophobic and hydrophilic. So depending on the age of the paint, the type of the paint, how much is applied, you're going to either get that water sheeting off the car or you may get it bubbled up off the car. But the downside of hydrophobic is you leave your car out overnight, the sprinklers come on, you walk out in the morning and you see all those water molecules all over your car.
The beads are still sitting there.
The beads are still sitting there, right? Everybody thinks that looks cool, but they don't dry their car off. So those water molecules that are all over the car, the beads, they dry out throughout the day with the sun hitting them, and that creates water spots, which you see on this vehicle. So what's great about something that's both hydrophobic and hydrophilic is it gets rid of the water easier. Now you still want to come out and dry your car after you've done it, but our proprietary polymer makes that even easier. It makes it easier to dry, makes it faster to dry. So we like to see the hydrophobic and hydrophilic qualities both in our ceramic products.
And NEXGEN's clearly done the hard work with all the science. You want to make it easier for the customer. How important is that to you to make these easy products to use?
Everybody in the world wants to have a clean car, and most people don't want to clean it. So we're trying to create products that simply allow people to do the best that they can, the fastest that they can, in the easiest way possible. We create products that are difficult to mess up. So putting our products on is an easy process. The results are fantastic, and anybody can do it.
The ceramic waterless wash from NEXGEN is easy to use, and you can see instant results. Get it right now. Run down to your local O'Reilly store, 6,400 O'Reilly stores on the planet, and they have the complete line of NEXGEN products. Hey, John Gardner is up next with a tech tip. Need I say more? Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, continues right after this. From our Mouse Blocker studio, this is Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. You know, we bring different cars into Motorhead Garage all the time. Classic cars, daily drivers, even race cars. Some vehicles sit, some vehicles move, and if you've ever run a shop, or in our case, a studio full of cars, you know it's not a question of if, it's a question of when you're going to see mice. Before Mouse Blocker, we'd find the signs of mice in the corners of the studio and the lovely smell that goes with it. But then we started using Mouse Blocker, and guess what? We haven't seen mice in the Motorhead Garage studio in the last couple of years. Not in the cars, not in the shop, not in the corners. When you've got multiple vehicles constantly coming and going, that says a lot. And it's very important to us to keep mice out because these vehicles usually don't belong to us. They belong to somebody else, and we are responsible for them. Mouse Blocker helps us protect every vehicle before it becomes an expensive repair. If you care about your cars, your shop, or your vehicles in storage, Mouse Blocker is a no-brainer.
Just got the last spring on my drum brake systems, and if you ever done drum brakes, you know it can be a tedious job. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Yep, we're talking about the drum brakes, and there's a lot going on these. You can see here the shoes, primary shoes, secondary shoes, a bunch of return springs. You got your e-brake mechanism, you got your drum, your backing plate back there, all your hold down pins, and obviously a wheel cylinder. I can show you two types of brake systems, which is pretty neat. This one right here, this is a dual servo, and you can see here the primary shoe is on the front, and the rear one's a little bit bigger. So what happens here, it's dual servo, two actions. When the wheel cylinder pushes out, the primary shoe rides around the star adjuster, and the secondary shoe does most of the stopping over here. So you always have to have the primary shoe towards the front of the vehicle. This one here, well, this is leading trailing. So leading trailing, you have the wheel cylinder here and an anchor there, so it can't keep going. So what happens is they get wedged in that drum, and when they get wedged in that drum, that's what does the stopping. Now, a couple of tips for you. If you want to service drum brakes, it's a good idea. Even if you're doing front brakes, just make sure you check your rears. To do that, I would just do a couple of things. Len, I would service rear brakes. What I would do is I would go in here and I would just make sure everything's clean, lube the star adjuster. Can you help us out there?
Ooh, I think we got something for that. A little spray grease.
That'll do it. We can put a little bit on the backing plate here just to make sure they don't squeak when they go out. And then, Len, I like to take some sandpaper and clean up the shoes, take the glazing off, adjust it. But the problem is, this is a nice new set. They're not like this in real world, man. Once you clean them up, you got axle grease, you got all kinds of stuff in here and dirt. How are we going to solve that problem?
Well, I got your answer right here with a little bit of brake cleaner.
Well, give it a shot.
Can we try it out? Absolutely.
Whoa. Not only does it clean it, man, you got some massive pressure going on there.
Can pressure really helps, really does help to clean that off. So it's one of those things we do at AMSOIL. We look at the entire problem, we look at the entire thing, and we formulate a solution. So not only is the product good, the can pressure is very specific to make sure that you're blowing that dust out of the way.
Yeah, and off the record, we use brake clean for everything. That pressure is absolutely helpful. You guys also deal with a lot of other products than just oil.
Yeah, that's true. We've got everything from brake fluid to brake cleaner, to be honest with you. We've got spray grease, as we talked about. We're very, very well-rounded. from a product standpoint at AMSOIL.
Keeping these brakes clean was easy with AMSOIL Brake Clean. Get some for yourself at amsoil.com. You'll be amazed at all the products you can find there.
It's time for our Motorhead of the Week presented by the Fuel Guys. Patrick Schilling wrote in and he told me a story. It's a short and sweet story about the Schilling family and the car they love. Patrick's father and grandfather worked in the engineering department at Nash Motors in the early 1950s. And some 20 years later, Dad bought this 1941 Ambassador 6 to restore. Patrick was only 10 years old, he tells me, at the time, and he says he couldn't wait to help. And as you can see, that 41 is still in the family, and it's still looking better than ever. Patrick Schilling and generation after generation of the Schilling family, they are our Fuel Guys, Motorheads of the Week. Now, Patrick sent me an email, dave@motorheadgarage.tv, to tell me his story. You can do the same thing. Tell us why you or someone you know should be the Motorhead of the Week. Still more to come on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, including a product that's been deep under the sea and way up into outer space. Stay tuned. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, brought to you by AP Laser, leading the way. Old Air Products, cooling the classics. And by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Now this is a rod end. You may recognize it. If you have anything that needs to pivot or articulate on any vehicle, you're going to need a rod end. And Bob Douglas is here from Rod End Supply, the place to get rod ends. And Bob, how many different vehicles do you cover with your rod ends?
We cover everything from go-karts, farm equipment, monster trucks, off-road vehicles, circle track, drag, just about anything and everything.
Now, what are some of the most extreme things you've had to make a rod end for?
We did a special rod end for SpaceX, one of their rockets, some exotic material, high misalignment, had a slot cut into threads for a set screw, didn't use a jam nut or anything of that nature. That was probably one of the most weird, I would say. We also make a rod end that's extremely small and is used by Disney. So when you see the eyes pivot back and forth and the ears wobble and the animatronics.
So let's talk about the materials. What kind of quality are we talking?
We've got economy two-piece type rod ends, which basically is a material that we use. It's a C1045 steel. It uses a 52-100 bearing steel ball that's hard chrome plated. That's the least expensive. They call them economy rod ends. Then we have a precision three-piece rod end, has a ball, has a body, and has a race. And then we have another rod end that we make that's got an injection molded material that we call nylofiber, and it takes the place of a precision rod end that uses a Teflon liner.
You know, other folks are making rod ends out there. What sets Rod End Supply apart from the other ones?
We've got a very good staff that knows applications, knows materials. We keep a good amount of inventory, and we try to ship within 2 days. Doesn't always happen, but we try.
And you have thousands of items in your catalog, and it's not just rod ends. How far does it go? What other stuff do you make for vehicles?
We make all kinds of different things. We make what we call a 4-bar end. These are used on Jeeps and other off-roading vehicles. These particular parts are used on street rods, street machines. We have them in stainless, chrome, black, oxide. We also make the bungs. If somebody wants to make a connecting tube between each end of the rod end, radius rods sometimes they're called, drag links, this type of thing. We make those in various sizes. We also make the tubes themselves. This is a chromoly tube that's got the ends welded in it. This is a steel tube and it's swedged down on the ends. And this is an aluminum tube. We also make all different types of clevises in different sizes. We also put studs in rod ends. Some are tapered for applications. Some are just basically a standard bolt. These are affixed in the rod end so they do not come out. We make adjusters, the male adjusters, male to female adjusters. And you can also screw a female and male rod end together to make an adjuster. We make a lot of specials for specific companies that want parts, and this is a wide variety of those. This particular rod end is made for a company that makes dampening louvers for heating and air conditioning. We also sell a lot of different shock parts that we manufacture for shock companies. We also have cups that are used in the spherical bearings. These are mounted down in, and normally what they do is they can make a suspension component like an A-arm by welding tubes onto this cup. We also make high misalignment spacers to take a standard rod end and make it a high misalignment rod end.
With any car, it's pretty unlikely you won't have the part in stock, but what if I need something specialized like the folks from SpaceX or Disney?
That takes time to do. We're looking at anywhere from 16 to 18 weeks to develop it, time we get it made. We're not a onesie twosie type shop. There has to be some quantity involved with it for us to make something special.
Well, we've got something a little more standard here behind us. We've got this 33 Plymouth hot rod. It needed some new rod ends. We looked at the bushings on there. They didn't look great, so we decided it was time for new rod ends, and we went to replace those. So the process, of course, we had to remove the old ones. A little tricky getting to some of the bolts there. They were in some tight spots.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, but we managed to get it out, a little teamwork. We got them out there, and then we discovered the bushings in there weren't so great as we suspected.
Most of them were falling apart. They'd already deteriorated to the point that they weren't holding anything. They appear to be rubber. After a while, the rubber hardens up and then it starts breaking up and it comes out. We're replacing with our 4-bar ends that has the poly bushing in them, and our sleeve that goes inside the poly bushing is a stainless sleeve. Therefore, it doesn't rust, it doesn't corrode and adhere itself to the mounting bolt that you put it through.
And how long can we expect something like that to last?
You ought to be able to get at least 20 years out of them.
Seems like plenty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be.
And so the process, once we got the old ones out, we had to measure to make sure we had them dialed in right and tighten the jam nut down.
Correct.
Putting it back in, it was just as simple as reversing the process.
Yes.
And these are super easy. The only hard part with us is we had some difficulty accessing the actual bolts and everything.
And some of the bolts were kind of hidden in places. It took a little bit more ingenuity to be able to get on them.
What's the owner of this vehicle going to notice once he has his new rods?
We're working on the rear end right now, and he's going to probably notice that the car doesn't want to walk, because when the bushings get that loose and sloppy, and one of the bushings that deteriorated, it was really sloppy. And so the rear end has a tendency to want to move around in the chassis, so it's not wanting the car to run down the road straight. And so he's probably going to notice that more than anything else. And the way the bushings were bad, there had to be some clunking noises going on somewhere.
I'm sure of it. Now we know the cause.
Yes.
If you've got a hot rod like this, if you've got your daily driver, if you've got a tractor or a rocket ship, you need rod ends, and you need to get them at rodendsupply.com. They are the best on the planet. We will have a brand new episode of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection right here 1 week from today. Until then, you can find episodes of the show on social media and everywhere you stream video. Thanks for riding with us. We'll see you next time.